the likelihood of finding love on a show like this is getting slimmer and slimmer because producers and networks no longer want to showcase this beautiful love story. They want to go, how do we get to this love story and how do we make it as dramatic as possible?
Hello and welcome to Separate Bathrooms. We'd love to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation that we are recording on today, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay our respects to the elders both past and present. Hi, honey.
Hi, Alison Daddo.
Hi, Cam.
Oh, yes! Today we're talking to a couple about newfound love. Mm-hmm. They're no stranger to you if you're into reality TV. I met them on location in Hawaii for an episode of Luxury Escapes. It's fair to say we hit it off. There was a bromance. We surfed, the three of us. We ate food, had great chats, and we had an awesome session of karaoke.
Oh, yeah. Well, they did emerge as the coupling from The Bachelor a couple of years ago. It's time to check in and have a chat with the Bachelors, Holly Kingston and Jimmy Nicholson.
Welcome, Holly and Jimmy, to the bathroom. We're going to start with maths.
I'll just kick it
You
off.
guys are unreal on that.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
Obviously
I loved
watched
you.
it.
You were my
Yeah.
favourite couple on that.
Yeah,
Let's
great.
just clear that up. You met, you fell in love on The Bachelor. You've spoken about that experience a million times. Now you're in the real world. You're out of the Matrix. When people first meet and they hook up, we usually show the very best version of ourselves. You're a couple of years down the track now. Where are you at? Have there been surprises since you moved in together?
I'm still perfect.
Right.
You say that every day, don't you?
Jeez. I mean,
Bum gun?
I think our biggest problem is probably that we have one bathroom, that we don't have two since moving in together. So I think that's the first thing to start. Seems applicable on this show. That's been the most surprise, I think.
Small 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah.
Do you want to talk
With
about...
with one, but not. Is there two toilets or
No,
one?
there's
One
one
toilet.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
there's no...
we had that for a while.
Oh, we did.
We did.
Now, when we first met.
Yeah, when we
it's
were
all
at
cute
your
when you
stage,
first
in the
met.
first 5 years, we only had one bathroom.
Yeah.
And you're still together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we made
Hanging
it.
on by a
We made it
thread.
with one bathroom. And now we do have separate bathrooms now. Yeah, we do have separate bathrooms now, which is good.
Well, you'd hope you'd have separate bathrooms now because
Yeah.
otherwise you'd be lying to the general public. But
That's right.
Exactly. Indeed.
Yeah, the one thing we've said has kept us together is separate bathrooms. Yeah, we definitely have separate bathrooms.
What's your code for the bathroom?
Oh, okay. This is probably a good one. So, for those of people that don't know me, which is probably a lot of the listeners, I'm a pilot. So, in aviation, we have different things when we talk about weather. So, if the weather's going to be bad for 30 minutes, it's inter. They put an inter on the forecast.
Yeah.
If it's going to be bad for 60 minutes, it's called a tempo. So, Holly's now up on the lingo. So if I go into our bathroom and it's particularly bad, I'll say tempo.
Yeah.
She now knows 60 minutes is probably going to be the best time to just
Right.
avoid it.
It's not code brown. It's not that.
No, it's just and then no one else knows what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
right.
Until now.
Until now, Holly, to her credit, I've never heard her pass wind. Never, which I think's great. Also, I mean,
Is that
look,
purposeful?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, which is there's nothing wrong with that. Up until last week, I'd never smelt the
Okay,
The
James.
bathroom
all right.
afterwards.
All right,
Okay.
that's good. Thank you.
so that's single bathroom ops. You know?
Okay, so now you just did something, Holly. You called him James.
Yeah.
Is that when it's serious?
Yeah. I think James occurs like at least 4 or 5 times a day now.
Right.
You are in trouble quite a lot.
I am. Yeah.
I can just imagine James as a child because he is a big kid. He's always in trouble. He always like to you like to push my buttons.
Well,
Everyone's
it's fun.
buttons.
Keeps it interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Well, at least I'm not boring. That's what we always say. You
Yeah.
know, it's
I mean, sometimes I wish you were a little bit more boring.
What, a little bit boring? A little bit predictable?
Yeah.
When I call Cam dude, he's like, "You duded me. I'm in trouble." So the dude word comes out. I'm like, "Dude." He's like, "Oh God, I've been duded."
I look like my dog Curly. When we got a dog Curly, you show him the leash and he goes, and it's like, dude, this doesn't hurt putting this thing on. So when she dudes me, I go,
freeze up.
His brain's going, "What have I done? What have I
what
done?"
have I done? What have I done?
Dude or
Cameron.
mate?
Oh,
Mate.
Mate's not great. I don't
Yeah.
think either.
Do you guys ever wish you had a normal courtship, or are you happy the way you met?
Oh, look, definitely some aspects I wish we were kind of anonymous and had a bit of a normal. But also it's kind of nice people knowing our love story and but people read into that how they like. You know, they can put any assumption based on what they think you look like or when they see you in public. But I think it's quite nice having our love story work out the way it did, but also there's elements of it that you kind of wish that were separate.
I think it was such a perfect foundation for a relationship because by the time you finish airing, like Jimmy's ditched the 22 other girlfriends he had that I was living with for 3 months. That was fun. Then you've got 3 months living in secret before everyone knows who the chosen one was. And then it all comes out. And by that stage, I think a lot of people don't understand. It's not like this whole reality TV star thing. It's not like you're an actor or you're a singer and you've had years and years to prep and get these big roles and whatnot. And then, you know, the fame comes in
Increments.
Yeah. Whereas we're every day, you know, still are, Joe Blogs, and we go on the show and we come out and all of a sudden various people are interested in your love story and you've got media scrutiny and you've got all these things. And we have, through that 6-month period, you are solid as a rock because you've gone through so much together. You've had so many testing times and you can either get really, really strong through it or you can crumble, and we just became a lot stronger from it. So I wouldn't change the way we met for the world.
No, and a lot of people think, I think they see these reality shows, especially like The Bachelor, and they think, oh, there's intimacy going on behind the scenes. There's none of that. So the other thing is that, like, you don't know if it's going to work until afterwards because you've never been intimate together. Every time you've been together, there's been a camera there. Bar lunches where you can talk about the weather and things that aren't, you know, content related.
Yeah.
So that's a big aspect of it that has to work as well. Luckily for us, it did. But so I never have any judgment, people coming off shows or past bachelors either not picking anyone or it not working out afterwards because there's a lot of things that need to work, and lucky for us, it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't really want to talk about The Bachelor too much, but just one thing, is the camera always on? And if it ever goes off, you must feel great release and relief when you know that you're not being recorded either vocally, you know, through your mic or through video.
I think, yeah, for the most part, particularly with the girls, you're mic'd a lot. The camera, a little less so.
Yeah.
But obviously with reality TV, sometimes they can get sound bites of you going, oh, they're such a bitch or whatever, and then them inserting it into a completely different part of the screen time, which doesn't make any sense.
They wouldn't do that, Holly.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
Do that, never.
Evil geniuses. No, but it's funny because when we finally finished filming, the executive producers offered us, you know, do you guys want to spend the night together? And I was like, okay, we'll go spend the night together. So I'm escorted by security in this big robe, and I get to his hotel room. There's security out the front of the door, and I walk in. There's no camera. We've got no mic. And you just see there's, you know, big cheese board, champagne, box of condoms.
Which I thought were chocolates. Because they came in,
edible chocolate
No,
condoms?
I didn't see. They said, "Oh, Jimmy, I've left you a little present over there as well." I thought that's lovely. They got some chocolates and champagne, everything. I said, "Holes, I got chocolates." And I look, oh, okay, there. All right, I see where this is going.
But yeah, after the cameras finished rolling, I think I was very awkward. I was like, hey, what do we talk about now?
It was crazy because you suddenly go from this environment where, the cameras are on you 24/7, but whenever you're together, the camera's there, to you sit there and you feel like, are we going to get in trouble for talking about jovial things or things that aren't, you know, particularly talking about how many kids we want or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we were at the start. It was a bit weird. We felt like we were getting in trouble, but then we realised, there's no cameras around, all right?
Yeah, it started our relationship from scratch, yeah.
What was the biggest challenge? Well, you know, once all of that had happened, then it's been declared you're the winner, Holes, which is awesome.
This is my prize. Can I get a return? This is all I get?
She
The
says
golden man.
And then everyone wants a piece of you. Everyone wants a piece of you. You've probably got paparazzi. You've got all the crap that they put into the crappy magazines and the websites and stuff like that. You've got probably trolls. How did you deal with that? What was that like?
don't read the comments, which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
But that was some of the best advice I was ever given.
Yeah.
And, even my mates had a group chat and they were posting things in it. Excuse me. They had a group chat and they were posting things in it. And I looked at it and some of them were, they're having a laugh. Oh, look at this article. And I said to them, boys, either take me out of the chat or because I just don't want to read it because I want to make sure my mental health is because you're going to get people that love you and you're always going to get people that hate you.
100%.
And the people that hate you are very vocal. So for us, don't read the comments. And this is a question we get asked a lot. Like, how is it just going about, your normal business in public? And I don't think about it probably too much because I'm out the front. The other day there was a pap out the front and I didn't realise. And I never did. Holly always sees them. I never see them. And I'm standing there in my oil-stained trackies, a Bunnings trade shirt on, leaning against my ute, talking to my neighbour who's just moved in, and I got papped. And then so Holly sends me these photos and said, oh, geez, you look like a real winner there, babe.
Oh, you choreographed that one.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
trying
absolutely, yeah.
That's straight
Rugged
on, aren't you?
masculinity.
Yeah.
That's the look you're going
So
for.
I
Well
just
done.
ignore it. I just try and get on, and I think we both do. We just try and get on with life. And because if you're thinking about it too much, it could send you down a pretty dark path.
And it has for other people for
Definitely.
sure. It's
Massively.
been really hard to deal with.
I think the media is actually the media doesn't impact us all that much. I think it's being a part of this whole new social media world is nuts. And we've had a few little hiccups. You're always going to have a time where, you say something that's misconstrued or, something is, portrayed in the wrong way, the way that you meant it. And the people that, and I think everyone, you guys can probably relate in terms of the trolls. That's the hardest bit because you're like, do people actually think this way? The people that, and you think it's not gonna affect me. But I'd have people saying things about my teeth. I had constant people going, you have, horsey
Veneers.
buck teeth or whatever, and you kind of read it and you laugh, and then you're going on about your day and you're still thinking, you're going, oh, do I actually, just subconsciously these things get to you and things that you never thought would get to you. So it's just trying to, I think we're pretty used to it now and you just kind of push on, but...
Well, you mean at one stage you did have to post your dental records showing that you did in fact not have veneers. And
Yeah.
then, and
that was a low point.
that was a dentist that said she had a horsey
You
bite or
actually
whatever
did
it's called.
that?
Did I was
Did you
like,
really? You felt
shut
the need
these
to do
people
it?
up. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a little bit of an FU, but I think it was also just, I was so sick of getting hundreds of messages, weekly, You have veneers and they were fit way too big for your mouth, you idiot. And I'm like, oh, no.
I love your teeth.
I know,
I
me
think they're
too.
perfect. They're great.
No,
Yeah, it's totally part of your
it's just-
beauty.
it's just stuff like that you
Yeah.
learn to, at the start is pretty overwhelming and then you just learn to deal with it. And we are so lucky that we have each other through it all.
Yeah,
Because I
right.
can't imagine doing all of this by myself.
Wow. I mean, who's that lady that says it's the tax you pay? Was it Brene Brown?
No, it's Elizabeth Gilbert.
Elizabeth Gilbert talks about that. When you get into the public eye, the tax you pay is that you're going to open yourself up to those sort of comments. Having been in the business for a long time, I've been grey and lots of lines from it. It's like sometimes they just get you like cancer. It's like it just eat away at you. I've had some nasty, nasty headlines. Not many, thankfully. But realising after I look at it and go, okay, what the person who wrote this, what do they want? And it's, I see, it's their agenda. It's really not about me at all. It's what their own agenda. And still the hurt it cuts pretty deep, and it comes up in weird moments, at 3 o'clock in the morning, or I'm swimming or surfing or something, and then it'll come up and I'm just like, oh, stop punching the water. Kill that one.
But there's nothing you can do, is there?
There's nothing, that's what you can't control that, Jim.
No, there's nothing. And look, we went through a couple of things where we were suddenly, things were taken out of context, and then you had this sort of group that was sort of against us because of something they thought we'd done, but in actual, we were actually supporting that group. But it was just and there's people that do come out of the woodwork though who actually go into bat for you, and you're not asking for it. And that was also the flip side. Is you see how much support you have. It's a difficult game, this social media thing, because a lot of people support you, but they can't be seen to support you in anything if it's at all controversial or against a particular group, because it's just the cancel culture.
Yeah.
So it's like we're quickly learning that you want to have your own, be yourself on your socials channels and be the best reflection of yourself and be just everyday knock around people that we are. But also you've got to self-censor everything you say, and you have to think about everything you say. And that's probably the hardest part, I think.
I don't think that's a bad thing, though.
No.
Being conscious about what you're saying and the message that you're putting out. I think that's
Just sometimes you just can't put out a message. You think, I kind of want to say something, but I'm
yeah, right.
not going there.
Yeah.
That's what we've
if you
learned. Now
step
we're like,
into anything, the political world.
You could definitely use a filter in all aspects of life, though. So I think it has worked for you quite well.
that's a fair point. Yeah, I've learnt to now just punch the water, as you say, Cam, or whatever.
There you go.
But sometimes,
Holly, do you feel that that social media or the reality shows are much harsher on women than they are men?
Oh, I mean, it's so hard to say. I think my general answer would actually be no. I think it really depends what, you've got the Bachelorette and you've got the Bachelor. And so obviously the concept is you've got 22 guys or whoever fighting for the one girl, or you've got 22 girls fighting for the one guy. Naturally, the drama is going to be centered around those, that bulk masculinity that are all going, or that bulk bitchiness that's all going, I'm going to win that guy. So I think it depends really what you're looking at. But girls naturally, I mean, look at reality shows now. Like there's a Real Housewives in every bloody country. So people obviously love to see girls fight against one another or girls be bitchy towards one another, which is really scary. And I think with the reality show that we were on, that was definitely a focus. And we were actually chatting on the way here. The likelihood of finding love on a show like this is getting slimmer and slimmer because producers and networks no longer want to showcase this beautiful love story. They want to go, how do we get to this love story and how do we make it as dramatic as possible? So it's just becoming... It would be really hard to find what we have now, I think, through any of those channels, really. But no, long story short, I think it's with reality television, you have the option to say whatever you want to say, and you can't. Yes, there's editing, and yes, all of that is true. It has to come out of your mouth for it to be on the screen. So. I mean, I guess
it's like buyer beware, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to be careful. Yeah. What do you think, Jim?
I think what Holly says is a great point. It's like people want to see that, like they want to see the fights and all that kind of stuff. So for us going on the show, I was told that we're changing the format this year. It's going to be, back to the old Bachelor, the love story and everything. But they've got to put out there what people want to see as well. And if people want to see fighting amongst the girls, because it's entertainment, then it's going to be on there. It just was frustrating for me when it got to the point where I was like, hey guys, I'm actually here. Like I haven't signed up. I've been signing up for this every year. Someone approached me and said, do you want to meet a great girl and go on television? And I said, oh, it depends which show. And
that was their pitch, was it?
Well, it was. Would you be interested in going on a dating show? And I had an Instagram message one day, and I was stood down from work. Wasn't doing anything else. I'd come out of a long-term relationship, had the time I needed to be myself, which was really, really important.
Yep.
And I called Mum and I said, what do you think about this? She said, which show is it? And I said, oh, it's this. She said, oh, I think go for it. What have you got to lose? If you don't meet anyone, okay, that sucks. But, I think you genuinely do want to meet someone and that'll come across. So I was taking it seriously. I wanted to meet someone. I didn't want to be on there for Instagram fame and that stuff. And I had no idea about this world we're in now. I had no idea, because I'd never watched any of these shows. So for me, I really wanted to meet someone and I really wanted to be that love story and actually connect with it. And then, so it was frustrating for me halfway through that there was all that cattiness and people attacking Holly and all this kind of stuff. So, and I think I ended up spinning the dummy. But I think it's a great point, which you said, is that they're going to put out what people want to watch. And if that's what everyone's watching, one of the Desperate Housewives or whatever, Holly watches them all, I don't. But like all those shows that she loves watching and binges on them, that's all it is. All I hear is just women yelling at each other. So
Wow. I wonder if people are more interested in watching females fight than males argue. Do males kind of just punch it out and get on with it?
Well, the guys on
do
Bachelorette,
that.
they just all like, I think they get along so much. The boys are all just, let's scull a beer and
Bunch
like,
of bromances.
boys. And it's like bromance. Whereas the girls are all like, the heels are off. They're throwing daggers. It's
I
it's
don't think
carnage.
that happened. But
Wow.
Well,
I mean, so here you guys are. How long? 2 years down the track.
not even 2 yet.
Okay.
Jeez,
Oh,
I
not
know. It's
we finished filming last year.
don't ask me when the anniversary is again. I should know this.
We met in February last year.
February
Wow.
last year.
All right. There you go. So you've clearly got a great intimate relationship. Plus, you're working together. You've got and you both had careers before you went on. You're a pilot, and now Jimmy's one of the greatest drone operators I've come across.
You told me, I know.
Serious.
I'll take it.
And videotaping, and you guys are doing all your work that you do with your 100 honeymoons.
Yeah.
Plus, you're doing the Instagram influencer thing, going off on journeys and videotaping, and they look so pro. How is it working together? Does that put extra pressure?
You want to take this one, babe? She hates when I call her babe.
Yeah. Look, we went straight into hardly seeing each other, being in secret for 3 months, to then moving in together. We now own a place together. We started working together, and it was all a lot. I think we learned about each other very, very quickly. But I think we work pretty well together now.
Be honest, she loves it when I go to work. I'm back full time at work now, trying to balance all of it.
You're talking about
flying.
being a pilot
Yeah,
flying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm
I
back.
love
I'm
that.
back full. So it's like a breath of fresh air whenever I
and-
leave the house.
Yeah.
Bye, honey. Love you. And I can imagine she sits on the couch with Rafi, our little cat. It's like, all right, here we go. But she's flat out as well. And so
Yes.
it genuinely does put a lot of pressure on the relationship. But we're a great team. We know when we're pushing each other's buttons, and we know how to move on past that. So I think we work really well together. I piss her off a lot more than she pisses me off. Look at it, the way she's looking at me now. But it works,
Yeah.
Working together, though, actually working together on 100 honeymoons was really tricky at the start.
Oh, yeah.
In what way?
Because we're both incredibly stubborn and we're both incredibly opinionated. And so whether it was camera angles or, because we shoot, we produce, we pick all the locations, we're our own travel agents, we do everything together. And it's such an awesome job now that we've nutted it all out and how to do it all. But at the start, my God.
So what would you guys think most couples do on a honeymoon when they get straight to the hotel room?
Get busy, baby. We're going to get busy.
Exactly. We're going to these
Right, honey?
amazing places, and we get into the hotel room. Don't touch the bed. Get the cameras up. Let's, so we've got to get into, so you just want to, you're fighting every instinct just to, relax, enjoy the holiday.
Right.
But it's like, we've got to make this look. And we tried so hard at the start to make everything perfect. Whereas now it's, we know, we get in there, we know what we need to, we don't waste too much time doing all these little shots we don't need to do. Get in there, get it done. It's a lot more enjoyable. But at the start, there was some big old
We
blues.
learned a lot about each other.
Yes, yeah.
Now, you've recently become engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Can you walk us through how that was? What did you do? Did you do something special or?
Yeah, we had a trip to Europe. Holly hadn't been back to Europe since she was most people go when they're teenagers and stuff, but she was working all that time. So she hadn't been to Europe since she was 5? 10. So I really wanted to take her back. We'd planned this trip. One of the first things we spoke about when we first met was Italy. Where would you love to travel to? So for us, it was Italy. And so I planned this trip. I knew I was going to do it over there. I didn't want her to find out. She has my Instagram password. She has all my stuff. So it's really, really hard to coordinate getting the ring and everything. So we planned a trip together to Italy, which was amazing. And I had the Luxury Escapes team help me out on a little backline plot that we were working with them when we were over there, and that I was going to plan a day for us in Sorrento. And then Holly would plan the day when we were in Greece later on. And so I had, one of the Luxury Escapes team email Holly this email that I'd written being like, hey guys, we thought of a cool concept, blah, blah, blah. It's because I wanted to go back to how we'd met and do a sort of scavenger hunt thing throughout the day of all things that mean something to us. So we're in Sorrento, staying in this beautiful hotel. And basically I just planned the best day that I could with us. So pizza making or pasta making, and then I finished it off the way we started, which was on the red carpet where Holly asked me to take a bit of time out and have a drink at a wine bar. So I'd set up a little wine bar there and got down on the knee, and that was it. But somehow I managed to sneak the ring. I think she actually knew that I was going to happen because...
Did you?
That was a nod. That was a nod.
It was a cringing nod. It was like, oh, dude, I don't want to tell him, but I sort of do.
Yeah, I
I
shot
mean,
myself.
okay, we're on the plane on the way over there, and he's got his carry-on backpack, and I look at it, and he's got a padlock on his carry-on backpack. This guy couldn't care less if he's got his jocks hanging out and his zipper undone, like in the bag. So I'm like, why has he got a padlock on his carry-on bag? Then we go to sleep. He's got his eye mask on, and he's holding his carry-on backpack like it's sort of
on the
teddy
plane.
bear.
I know. Amateur.
So I'm just going, either he's got some sort of weird, I don't know what's going on, or he's got something really important in there. But he ended up putting the ring in his GoPro where the battery goes.
Thought of that at 3 a.m. in the morning, woke up. I know where I'm going to put it.
There's my spot.
But no, I mean, I tried. I didn't want to ask any questions, and I didn't want to, but I had a little inkling.
Just a little, yeah. But it was really special because
Yeah.
Italy is somewhere now for us that we'll always remember. We'll hopefully take the kids back to Sorrento, and we got a great video out of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I can't watch that bloody video without bursting into tears. It was
and neither can your 1,000,005 Instagram followers. There was all those comments. Did you who set the camera up on the?
I did, yeah. I went and set it up because I told Holly that that I wanted to film the day because not just to post it on Instagram, but it was more so just to have the special memory and
Yeah, right.
and so it was a fun day. So I went beforehand and set the camera up, and then sort of gave the bar staff a tip to sort of go and turn it on when she walked out, and so I set the angle up and went and did a little scoped it out the night before, made sure there was the right lighting, and that was it. It was beautiful. Couldn't have been. It was the best day we've had together so far. So that's it. That's
Amazing.
history.
When we were in Hawaii, I had the best time with you guys in Hawaii, and yes, you were my first Instagram mentors, teaching me reels, and yeah, so
You're doing well, by the way.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, you made it. You made it.
Dude.
Oh, mate! Oh, wow! I got duded back. Just don't call me Cameron. I really loved it, and we did watch your series. I don't know how much we watched it, but we were familiar with you from The Bachelor, and it's always interesting for me because first impressions that we have of people, we kind of often, we rightly or wrongly make up our mind who they are and what they are. And I knew you both from the show, and it was like, okay, well, there's probably something more to this. And then Holly, something came up when we were just hanging out, probably driving that ATV or something. But you were telling me about your later years in high school and what went on with your mum, and I just found it was like blew my mind about how this lady is determined, she's loyal, she's kind. Can you just run us through what happened in those last couple of years of school?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting one because I don't I haven't spoken about it much publicly, but I think.
Are you okay too?
Yes, of course. Yeah. No, I had an amazing childhood. I was very, very privileged and had, went to a private school, and I was very fortunate from that point of view. And my parents then had a really tough separation, and with that came a lot of financial stress. And I ended up probably from the age of about 13, I didn't really speak to my dad for about 7 or 8 years. And throughout that time was kind of this strange dichotomy of growing up and having absolutely everything and being, at a private school with people who have everything. And then I went 2 years really hiding from everyone I'd ever met, that I wasn't actually going back to a home. I was going to clean houses with my mum, and I was going back to whatever house we could find that night, whether it was on a, house sitting website or whatever. We lived out of our suitcases for 2 years, and not a single one of my schoolmates or anyone really knew about it. And then straight after that, it's taken a really long time to maintain or regain any kind of financial security after all of that. Money is just money until it means a matter of, your security and your safety. And I was really shown that we had absolutely nothing. And I think that was what really has gotten me through a lot of the things that I've done, particularly over the last few years. Going on a reality show is not something I ever thought I would do, particularly when you have to be so open with the nation about who you are and all of that. But I think me being able to have that mask and being able to be really tough and strong is because I was able to do that for, a majority of my teenage years. I was able to put a smile on my face and pretend nothing was going on, which is definitely not the best way to do it for your mental health. And I'm dealing with that now and trying to work through all of that. Jimmy's mum is a psychologist and and his sister's a psychologist, and he's the best communicator I know and the most emotionally intelligent person I know. So he's helping me a lot with unpacking everything I went through and learning to talk about it and learning to get through it. So, it's very, very top line story of what I went through, but it was, I don't think I would be the person I am today if I didn't go through some sort of struggle like that. So,
and it's frustrating as well because she's never spoken publicly about this. So even on the show, people look at her and think she's this beautiful blonde who's got
Never
it
had
all.
a care in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had no struggles. You've had no
struggles, and then
You've had
people
to
on
get through anything.
Yeah, exactly, on social media.
Yep.
And Holly's just like, if only they knew.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because it just I can see that this is something between you two that is there's more gravitas to that than what we know as TV viewers, and it was like, there's something else going on with these two, there's I can see it now. It's
you
there.
tell her the sookies in the relationship. God, she's just said that, and she's not even. Yeah. But it is frustrating, Like it's because you can't just go, hey guys, actually this happened and blah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Up until now.
Well, it's sort of not your story to tell.
No, exactly.
So Yeah.
And everyone has a story. That's the thing. And, we're so quick to judge, especially if we see you on shows like that, people have this idea that you've got it easy and what would you know? And yeah, you're right, Holly. It's like you can't sort of just clap back on Instagram and go, well, let me tell you my story. That doesn't do you any justice. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, because it does. It's important to know things like that, that we take stock of, like, oh, hang on, before I judge, before I throw the first stone, what is this person's life story, so.
I think the positive thing to come out of is that she wouldn't be the person she is if this hadn't have happened, She's the knockabout, really down to earth, and so it is the silver lining of the whole thing is that she's now she can talk to anyone, and these things that she's been through, I think has made her stronger and made her a much better person. So it's not necessarily all negative, but maybe if she hadn't have gone through it, we wouldn't have met and we wouldn't be sitting here with you today. So
do you feel that? Or have you ever felt like that you've had to sort of prove something with your relationship, like the expectations of, because of the show that you were on, that you had to prove something somehow?
I think there's definitely an element of not so much proving. I think people want to see that love story at the end. Well, some people want to see the love story at the end. Some people just want to see the, But I think it's more day to day. There is very much an aspect of, do we film this joke that we just made on Instagram, laughing together because people want to see our love story, people want to be invested in it and all of that. So it's more so keeping people up to date that actually gets kind of Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you kind of want to we love just doing our own thing. If I'm working all the time, we have a day off. It's just like, let's just put the phone down, and I'm not on Instagram or anything when I'm at work. And you're like, I should probably let people know that I'm still alive and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fine line between having time for yourself just to do what you want to do, and then also having the night where you're sitting on the couch and you do a story together and, speak to people and check in with them. But I think to your question, Ali, it's sort of like, at the start, people definitely were like, oh, you guys are just here for fame and you're not going to last and all this stuff. And then it's like, in fact, you could punt on us. I think you could punt on us not being together after a year and all this stuff. So
literally, right?
But yeah, sports bet. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was.
Oh my god!
So
wild.
It might have actually been you can punt on us that we're still going to be together. And I think a lot of my mates.
I think the odds were very low, though, weren't they?
Well, no, yeah, probably after reality shows.
Yeah.
So there was an element of that you had to sort of prove to people, and of course, when we became engaged, that was kind of like, I'm sure there's a few people that are going, oh shit, that actually works. Yeah. So that definitely at the start, but as people got to know us and as we were more active on socials and, people saw, okay, I think it's genuine here. And I think, now the rest is history, right?
Are you going to film the wedding? Is that going on?
That's a tough one.
I think, no, well, we wouldn't film it to air it on TV, but we will have a videographer and a photographer.
Yeah, do that.
Everyone's
doing that now.
There'll be a lot of interest in that for sure, because that's
Have you got a date?
the real fairy tale.
We do.
Next.
We can cut that out.
Cut that out, please, Dave.
Actually, we'll put a little. We'll put a little over the top of the 5.
Talk about the filter before. Yeah, well, that's it. We do have the date. When is it? Who knows? But it's next year.
You guys know, but that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, but no, we won't be. We'll definitely have a videographer in there so we can remember the night. But we want it to be about us. I mean, the last thing we want to do. We've been in these situations before where there's other things going on, and it detracts from the day, even our engagement and stuff like that. So. After we became engaged, we waited like 2 weeks before we posted about it because we wanted to enjoy the post-engagement holiday and not have to media and all that kind of stuff. So, you'll see a few videos and whatnot out and about, but I think we're just going to keep it pretty low-key. We actually both weren't even fussed on having a wedding at the start. We wanted to go on a
Doing
elope.
this for Jimmy's parents.
Pretty much, and your parents.
Yeah, right. I'm sure your folks would have been quite upset about
that. We planned on eloping, and then Mum was like, "Come on, we want to." And I thought, fair enough. And now we're really, really excited about the wedding. Since the planning's all underway, we're excited.
What do you mean the plan? You've done nothing.
I haven't. I picked the venue.
Literally done.
He's going to fly everybody to wherever you need to go.
He's going to do the drone.
He's going to be. He's going to step. Hold on, just wait for the ideas. I've got to get the drone in the right spot. We're in the bathroom. In the bathroom, there is a shower. We jump in the shower for a couple of minutes. We call it the 2-minute shower. Quick answers to these questions.
Love it.
If you can.
Oh, I love this. Okay.
If you can.
Quick
All right.
answers.
Do you know each other's best friends' names?
Yes.
Samantha.
Oh, Grubs.
Beautiful.
Grubs. Do you know what stresses each other is dealing with right now?
Yes. What's your stress? Probably me.
Probably you. I think you're pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, I'm pretty chill.
You've got nothing.
What is your partner's basic philosophy of life, would you say?
Be kind and respectful to anyone, including the waiters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
What would
that.
Holly's be? Probably something similar. Treat others like you like to be treated, which I know sounds really cliche, but it is.
Yeah.
I think Holly is definitely the type. I know it's quick, but Holly she knew every single cameraman's name on the show, walk in, light up a room. She remembers all those things which are important.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. What does your partner want their life to look like in 5 years?
You being a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah.
Me being stay-at-home dad, that'd be great. Part-time flying. Holly wants to be a mum. She's already a mum to little Raffy, but she'll be a great mum.
Nice.
This is for you, Holly. What do you miss when you're not together?
So both of you.
Yeah, it's for both.
I think just my bud. We do absolutely everything together. Like there's, we're still in the first 2 years of our relationship.
Yeah.
So, but we do whenever we are together, we do we'll walk down to put the rubbish out, in our apartment building together. We'll go down and put the washing on together. So just having that companionship.
Yeah, having a good laugh, and Holly looks after me like a silkworm. So, you know, I can
that's so
cook,
sweet.
but, you know, I got home last night, there's a meal there for me, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I look after her too. And I fix stuff around the house, so, you know.
Okay, quick answer.
All right, this is the quick answer. Oh, you can. You're ready.
Describe each other in one word.
It's quite hard.
It is hard, actually.
This is going to sound super cliche, but just kind. You're just kind. Everyone, to everyone you meet, you're kind and you've got a good heart.
Loyal. I think loyal, definitely. Yeah. Very loyal to our friends and, yeah.
Are you going to cry?
No, I'm not. I'm just loyal.
Is it okay if he cries?
Yes,
Oh, she's seen it all before, don't worry. Get it after my old man.
Jimmy and Holly, thanks so much for joining us today. It's so great to have you in person too.
Yeah.
Not over Zoom.
I know.
Really delightful
vibe.
to meet you both. I mean, Cam really fell in love with both of you and just said they're so lovely. So you really are both lovely. So thank you for joining us in the bathroom.
In
Thanks
the
for having us in.
bathroom.
I've got one more question.
Yeah.
I know it's all good and well, this podcast about separate bathrooms, but how does one from our generation, not being able to afford separate bathrooms,
Yeah.
what's your one tip you could give people our age for longevity in marriage and all that if you can't have separate bathrooms? Because it's a really important thing.
I could use your tip, temp.
Tempo.
Good. Tempo, okay. No, I would say listen.
Okay.
Listen to each other and don't try to fix, just listen. That's been my biggest challenge, actually. What would you say?
I mean, look, just by the sheer fact that, you know, when Holly, when you said he's very emotionally intelligent, just, so it's the communication. Just keep talking, even when you think it's scary. Just keep talking. It's the one thing that undoes a marriage is when you stop talking to each other. So, and the other thing is stay curious about each other. I think that's a really important thing. You know, when you lose the curiosity, it's a really beautiful level of connection to have. So stay curious.
Love it.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, stay curious. I like that.
How was your day, honey? No, how was your day?
No, but really,
And then
really.
let her answer.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, get out of the bathroom.
Thanks, guys. Lovely to chat.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, no tempo in here when they left.
Oh my God.
It's a good plan though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a much more. It's not. I'm going to use a big word. It's not as scatological as some other words. Like I said, Code Brown. Like it's much more. It's
More
much
dignified.
more pleasant, more dignified,
More regal, noble.
They were lovely. What a nice
you like 'em.
couple. You know, because again, I just love digging deeper into people like that because people like that can be written off because they've done The Bachelor and they're social media stars, but you have to, you get to know people, and it's just they were so lovely.
I felt quite protective over them. I know that in that I was like, oh God, I really liked them when we were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I know I came home and I was gushing. And then I'm like, oh, I hope Elle likes them. I hope they live up to the hype that I gave them
They
in
did.
your mind. And I'm glad
They
that they
did,
did. Because,
absolutely.
Yeah, they're solid. They're good people.
Yeah, and the kindness was really obvious. You know, that's my favourite thing.
Hope you enjoyed that wherever you're listening, and rate the podcast. It really helps us. Oh, my image just came up on the TV and it threw me. Do I really look like that?
Handsome. Very handsome.
And rate the podcast. That would be great because it does help us out. And we'll see you on the next journey or conversation of separate bathrooms.
That's right. Thanks for listening.